How are you doing? Hello, hello. Okay, I can't hear you. Give me 1 second. And sometimes when we're live, things like this happen. Okay, let me just check. Can you hear me? Yeah, I can hear you. I cannot hear you. Okay, hello? Okay, what I'm gonna do, Ashley, I'm gonna remove you and bring you back right back, okay? And I apologize, everyone. Hopefully, you will able to hear a little bit of what I said earlier. But if we don't, we will just start a brand new show. Not to worry, it happens. Hello. No, I cannot hear you, Ashley. I'm so sorry. Okay, we will bring her back. Not to worry, everyone. She will be coming back very, very soon using the same link. And hopefully, we can continue on with Woman on Fire. This is going to be an incredible, incredible opportunity for you to be part of it. Please do not hesitate to get your tickets, and that way you can be part of this event that is coming up. Here are the dates, everyone. It is on April the 22nd and 23rd, 2023, by the Doublet Doublet Tree by Hilton. And so, okay, so she is back, and hopefully we can connect with Ashley, and we should be good to go. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, 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 we can hear. Welcome, Ashley. How are
Thank
you doing
you.
this evening?
Good. How are you?
I am fantastic. Looking forward to connecting with you. So, Ashley, tell us a little bit. How did you decide to get involved with mortgages? And I know we're going to probably hear later on, Lizzie, what are you talking about? This is not the time, but we will get there. Not to worry, everyone. So, mortgages, was it a long dream of yours to be part of lending or getting involved with mortgages? Are you, this is your second career? How did you get started?
Yeah, so actually this is my second career. I previously came from 12 years of frontline healthcare. So I worked in some of the GTA's largest hospitals as a physiotherapy assistant and occupational therapy assistant. And I worked in various levels of care, everywhere from ICU to palliative care and everywhere in between. And my job that I had just before jumping into the mortgage world, I also worked with the city of Toronto in their long term care homes. So, my previous life, if you will, my bread and butter was working in healthcare. And I jumped into this field during the pandemic. It was, I guess, a pandemic baby, if you will. My daughter was born at the end of January 2020, so I was on maternity leave. So, March break rolled around. I'm married to a teacher. And, I was like, oh my goodness, what is happening in this world? And I decided to make the jump. And I read my mortgage textbook and studied while, in between naps and baby on me and dealing with a toddler. And by September 2020, I joined my first brokerage with the 8-month old and a almost 3-year old in tow. So, yeah.
Wow, that must have been an incredible transition from healthcare to mortgages. And kudos to you for taking a leap of faith, and kudos to you for completely changing your life around into something brand new that you probably uh, you weren't too sure of what was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that there's a lot of demands, and I commend all of the healthcare worker that went through those times, very difficult, very challenging. And but for you to be able to say, you know what, I need something different in my life, and I'm taking that leap of faith, and
Hmm.
I'm taking that opportunity and going with it. I am so proud of you, and not a
Thank
lot of
you.
people have that courage. Why mortgages? Why getting into that industry?
Yeah, so when we bought our home in 2018, I was really intrigued by the whole buying process. To be honest, I was like, "Oh, that's really interesting." But just at the time, it was like we had a 5 month old. My oldest was only 5 months old, and it was just like, okay, not the time, and just kind of continue on. And then when I guess I just tried to capitalize on a really crummy situation during the pandemic and was like, wait, why don't I revisit that? And to be honest, it was a kind of a toss between realtor or mortgage agent. I chose mortgages. I do feel there's a bit of a more of a family life balance right now, although I haven't
Mm-hmm.
completely written off realtor, but my kids are only 5 and 3 right now, so I think this
Mm-hmm.
provides a little bit more of a family life balance, but still provides me to be an entrepreneur. I still get to, I make calling my own shots every day, which is still really nice. And to me, in my previous life career, for me, it was like a lot of working with people to meet their health and finance or health and fitness goals. Sorry, health and physical goals. And now it's
Mm-hmm.
working with people to meet their home financing goals, right? So I really, even though it's a complete jump, there's so many transferable skills I can bring, and it's still very much a helping profession. And you learn a lot about people, and people, they really open up. So I'm still seeing people in very vulnerable situations compared to, say, a
That's right.
hospital bed versus now I'm learning all about their financial situations, right? So
Mm-hmm.
mm,
Wow. And it's interesting that it took your personal experience, your uh, going through the process of buying your own home and buying something that made you realize, hey, I don't know a lot of things. I have to read and get informed and research. And again, kudos to you for doing that. Kudos to you for actually immersing yourself and trying to learn. A lot of people go into purchasing a home blind, and
mm-hmm,
sometimes they go to in a situation that is not too pleasant, and they realize maybe I made a mistake, maybe it wasn't the time for me to buy, or I didn't research enough. And you did your homework, obviously. Not only that, you said I can learn from this and I can actually teach it and actually help others. So good for
exactly.
you. I
Thank
am so proud of you. And there's lots to learn, I can imagine. I
yes.
watched your social media, your Instagram, which is great. And one of the
Oh,
things that you were talking about, Ashley, was people don't know their credit score, and it's such a misconception when it comes down to credit stuff, credit score, and it's one of the qualifiers. Let's put it in the table. It's one of the
mm-hmm.
qualifiers to get a mortgage. Can you tell us what is the misconception, the myth of your credit score?
Okay. There's, I mean, there's a lot of myths and misconceptions about it. Um, but so I guess the first thing is, and I think I know specifically which Instagram you were looking at, but just because someone has a good credit score doesn't mean on the report, when we actually look deeper into it, that it's all, sunshines and rainbows, so to speak, right? So, for example, I had clients last week that, they had good credit. When you look at just the number itself, I think they're about 700 to 750, which is good. They still have tons of options when it comes to lenders at that. However, the thing was they had many different trade lines, meaning different accounts, so like credit cards, line of credit, a couple student loans. And a lot of them were overutilized, meaning they were like almost at their limit. So yes, the credit score is good because they've been staying on top of it. They're making their minimum payments, so that's a great thing. And obviously, I highly encourage clients to keep up with that. But they also had many trade lines open, and they're all at their almost their max. So when you take into account all those debts monthly, at least those minimum payments, it adds up, right? So when you're qualifying them for the mortgage, they might say, oh, well, why didn't I get so much? Why can't I be pre-approved for so much? My credit is good. You're right, it is good, but we have to look at some of these debts, right? So in this situation, the client said, well, what if I put another $5,000 down? Well, really, that your debts are still there. And my recommendation to this specific situation was put that 5,000 and pay off some of those debts, because that'll increase your pre-approval amount greater that way than putting an extra 5,000 for a down payment. And then also another thing is people with like, I think there's a misconception too. If some people have gone through some rough times, especially the last few years, if there's some bankruptcies or consumer proposals, they think that their only option possibly is a private lender, which is also a myth. We do have lenders that will consider clients with those, especially those clients that have 2 years of record of trying to improve their credit again, right? Working towards building that credit back up. So there's a few misconceptions there, but I feel like those are like the two big ones right now.
I love it, and thank you so much, Ashley, for explaining. I know this is feels like mortgage is one-on-one for you, but for a lot of people that are watching, and they will be watching, this is recorded, by the way, on the LizyT Show website and also on our YouTube channel. This is important information. It's imperative information. I like to clarify it and do a little summary. Because you have a good number, high number,
Mm-hmm.
7, 8, 9, it doesn't mean that you have a good credit if you have lots of debt. Simple as that.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
So it's okay for you to have. That means that you have a possibility of actually getting more debt. That's basically how the bank looks
Mm-hmm.
at. You have more debt, and you have you can acquire even more. So I love the way you put it. Instead of you putting more down payment, how about get rid of that credit card that is at the max, at its limit?
Mm-hmm.
Love it. And this is very simple. I know some of you are like, really? But a lot of people don't know that. And
Yes.
they realize, well, I have a good credit score. It's 9.
Mm-hmm.
Why would I not get a bigger mortgage? And that's one of the reasons. So
Yeah.
love that tip. Number one, hopefully you that are watching can pick that up. The other thing that you mentioned, Ashley, is the lenders. You mentioned private lender, and again, it's very basic for some of us, but it's not for others.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean a private lender? And I know that you're going to explain there is your regular lenders, your A lenders, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your CIBCs. Sorry, we're not naming banks here. Your regular banks,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's other banks. So can you give us a little bit of background for people to kind of grasp the basic?
Yeah. So as a mortgage agent, a huge benefit with working with someone like myself compared to, say, someone at a bank is that we have options, and we have, like my brokerage in particular, we have access to over 50 lenders. And what does that mean? We have our A lending. So like you mentioned, is like that we have access to again, not naming lenders, but we have access to two of the big five in our broker channel. But then we also have access to other lenders that provide very, very almost identical products, and they're considered our A lenders. Those are like, you gotta, there's not going to be too many blips in your credit. You're going to have very confirmable income, meaning to say you have, T4s or proof of like your T1 generals if you're self-employed, and things that, like, if an individual's like, hey, I need these documents, you're able to provide them like quickly, right? And then we have our B lending, and a huge misconception about our B lending is that, like, a lot of people are like, oh no, you don't want to go there. I think, and many of us in the broker world, there's so many opportunities with our B lenders for people that are self-employed. They provide some products and programs that help people that are self-employed get into the market or doing refinancing. And those with like a little bit of bruised credit, they're a little bit more forgiving. Also, their ratios are a little bit higher too, meaning the gross debt servicing and the total debt servicing. Whereas with our A lenders, they have lower numbers. So again, the more debt you have, if we go with a B lender and the ratios are higher, then you may get a commitment from a B lender versus an A lender. Again, providing more opportunities. And then, as you just mentioned, the privates is like a whole other side of things, right? These
Mhm.
are they're people that may have like investment, and they put money aside and they lend it out. Now you're looking at much higher interest rates there.
Mhm.
In the way I do my business, I try not to put people in privates because there is a lot more risk with it, I find personally, or you're looking at higher interest rates, like up like 12% around there, give or take, right? So, like,
Mhm.
you don't want to make someone house poor, right? It's like they definitely serve a time and place, but if I can, I would exhaust my A and B's first before going that route.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
And I agree with you. And similar, I love the subject. One of the subject that I'm very very interested in. Again, going through the process myself. I love real estate investing myself.
Hmm.
So love it. A lot of people are wondering and they're saying, why would you not go to your regular banks? Why would you not? Like, is there something else? What would you risk? Because a lot of people feel that going through a B lender or going through a not one of the fives or four out there is the safest thing to go to, which is not true, not the reality. There's a lot more options. The custom it's a more custom care when you go through another lender, and not only that, having a broker like yourself, which is customized, ask for questions. You have more time with your clients versus one of the bigger banks, which is kind of cookie cutter, and they don't have that unless you're a trillionaire. They don't have that time with you. So people are wondering, I'm not going to go with someone that I'm not too familiar with a trust, just to give you an example.
Hmm. Yeah, and so yeah, I think it's just being able to provide your clients with more options, what it really boils down
Options.
to. I've definitely heard from clients where like they'll go into their bank, they may have 10, 15, 20 years history of being a client at this bank, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh, we can't do your mortgage. Well, then what are they supposed to do, right? And you may as I dig down into what's going on with the client, maybe it's because of their credit, or often one that I do hear a lot is self-employed people, right? The moment sometimes depending on how someone claims their income or shows their income as a self-employed individual, the banks are like, no, 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 sorry, right? I had a client last year. She's like, they were sorry, they were selling and then buying, and their current lender would not carry the mortgage to their new property. She's like, they told me no because I'm self-employed. And so,
Yeah.
through we went on a B with a B lender, but we got them the house, right? Yes, there's a little bit higher interest rate, but we got them the house that they really were. And this is a year ago, so the market was a little bit more crazy too. But right, but it just does provide more options and gives people those opportunities that when the bank says no, well, we're here, right? We can help you out. And
Yes.
to just touch back on, it's true. Again, you go into your bank. Sometimes you never know who you're going to get, who you're going to see. You might get kind of passed around, so to speak, to like different people. You find you might have to repeat your situation over and over again. Whereas myself, at least the way I run my business, it's like I'm a one woman show, right? Like it's like you call me from the moment you think you may need a mortgage or you might need to some help to closing day, and everything in between, it's me that's like working with my clients. So I think that provides
Yes.
more trust.
Working with brokers is one of the best thing I find personally, and I recommend that to anyone that is looking either to purchase a home, first home buyer, property investment is one of the best thing to do. And the dedication, the care, the time is completely different than a regular financial institution because it's a big corporation. Like anything, it's a
Yes.
big corporation. You talked about actually about real interest rate,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of people said, well, I don't want to go with a B lender because the interest rate is higher. One of the things that I always laugh about is that really interest rate, you're worried about an extra 0.05%, whether as opposed to you're paying a credit card with 19%. So there's a lot of issues and misunderstanding again, what is a high interest rate? And right now, a lot of people are saying, well, they're not, banks or institution are not going to lend you. If they are, it's going to be really, really, really high. Are we leaving right now the time where things are starting to get a little bit, and I hate, I have to use that word with caution, back to normal? People are able to qualify and the interest rate is kind of settling. What do you, what is your thought on that?
So yeah, I want to say definitely with the A lending when we have to make those ratios, the total debt servicing and the gross debt servicing ratios, they some people they're finding it tough or they're like right on that cusp, right? But this is again where we look at utilizing our B lenders that do have higher ratios. Let's say, for example, like something that you kind of just mentioned was, let's say someone's looking to refinance. They have a lot of debt. Life has gotten ahead of them in the last couple of years. Don't we all know it, right? And they owe all this money on high interest credit cards or other debts. Well, okay, yes, let's say we refinance you to a B lender at say they're right now they're about 6 to 7%, right? But imagine if we're able to group all that debt that you have into one monthly bill, meaning your mortgage. I would much rather would pay 7% on my credit card, essentially to consolidate my credit cards. And like you said, 19, some are 20, 21. We're finding a lot of people have had to go like borrowing loans from other like institutions where it's like astronomical, like 25% interest. Again, try not to name certain companies, but
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just breaking it down for people, right? Really showing, okay, yes, but you could stay here, or we can do the B lending, which can help you. And I think one thing to address there too is just because you're in a B lender right now doesn't mean you're going to be forever, right?
Mm-hmm.
We could look at, depending on someone's situation, we can do a 1 year term, 2 year term, or 3 year term with the B lending. And
Right.
maybe in 2 years, your life might get a little more stable, whatever that means, whether it means because of employment. Maybe you're a new business and you need the 2 years to show some more proper CRA documents, right?
That's
Or
correct.
maybe you just need the year to just clean up your debt. Okay, once it comes up for renewal, let's try and get you over to the A side, right? And again, that's the beauty of working with us. We can still help you in the moment, but that just because it could be a temporary fix and you
That's
can
right.
move back over, right? Kind of like a graduation program.
Love it, love it. Actually, I could talk to you all night because this is one, again, one of my favorite subjects. Love this, and I always try to learn, not because I want to become, be part of the industry. It's just for my own knowledge, and again, because I love to invest. But let's talk about, before I forget. Where can people get a hold of you? It is very important for us to share your information, and so people can work with you and connect with you, and get more information, more detailed information. Now we share a little bit, but there's a lot more that you can learn from Ashley.
Yeah, I'm on Instagram. AshleyT.mortgages is
Mhm.
the name. I'm on Facebook, Ashley Treavajo Mortgages, and yeah, you can find me there. I'm on LinkedIn as well, Ashley Trevajo. And all the sites have my email and my phone number. And going, as a mortgage agent, you can get me outside of some working hours too, unlike the bank. So, you know,
Well, that's one of the benefits about working with a mortgage agent is that you're able to get a hold of that person.
hmm
Unfortunately for you, and great for us, anytime that you have a question that you wanted to be able to get something done. So, yes. And by the way, here you guys are seeing right on the screen her application and her website. Love the picture, by the
oh,
way.
thank
They
you.
did a great job. And for you to connect and, yeah, apply it and then continue this conversation because there's a lot to learn. And even if you're not thinking of purchasing a house or a rental income, or what about what she said is refinance.
hmm
Last year, a lot of people acquired tons and tons of debt. Let's face it, people lost their jobs. Credit cards are the first thing for you to pay that bill, and now we need to pay. So how about, and if you have a place that you can refinance or close to refinance, a lot of people not doing a year, you could do it if you still have a year to go. So that's
hmm
highly recommend for you to check out. Just get your questions asked, answered, by the way, by Ashley. I'm pretty sure she'll be very, very helpful. Woman on Fire. Love to find out, how did you become involved? First of all, is this your first time?
It is. I got
Wow.
nominated by one of my from my business coach, and I got Allison had reached out, and I'm like, what is this? So that's basically how I stumbled across Women on Fire.
Good for you. One of the things that I've noticed has been the common denominator here right now. It's a lot of ladies that I've had the privilege to have on the show is a first timer, and I can tell you, you're in for a treat. What are your expectations for those 2 days? I'm not sure if you're going to be able to attend those 2 days or just the gala. How is it going to work out for you?
My goal is to definitely I want to attend all of it, being a newbie, if you will, first timer. I want to check out the networking, the key and everything during the day on the Saturday. I'd love to join the party on Saturday night, and then the gala on Sunday. Um, yeah, like it looks to me that it's like so it's going to be very inspiring, motivating, a lot of educational, a lot of connections made. Um, yeah, that's kind of how I'm like visualizing it right now. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Well, actually, being part of Woman on Fire for the last 10 years, I can tell you that you're in for a big surprise. Woman on Fires is one of the most incredible networking events that I had the opportunity to be part of, and I've been to many. And this is definitely one of my favorite. Not only the sisterhood, not only the connection, not only the support,
Mm-hmm.
the network that you're going to receive is out of this world. I am still friends with people that I met 10 years ago. And I am so thankful for the support. If you need anything in the group, if you are looking for answers, or even, we just posted somebody needed a gown to attend the gala, and everybody runs to say, how can I help? So
Mm-hmm.
those little things, and they seem little, but it is part of this friendship that it's never, even if you want to get rid of your friends, a woman on fire, they're still going to follow you. Again, the learning part, it is incredible. Great speaker. They come. This used to be just in Ontario and Toronto, and now has been worldwide. We have people from the States and other parts of the world. So it's getting bigger. So this is one of the best times, and you're in the right time and the right moment to be part of this. So congratulations for
Thank you.
being nominated, because it is going to be a great event. And congratulations for being nominated. That's incredible.
Like I
So
said,
this is
I saw Allison message me, and I was like, is this real? Like, it's one of those things like, I got nominated for what? Like, I was really caught off guard. But as I got to know Allison on my call with her, and I was like, oh wow, this sounds amazing.
It is amazing. It is amazing. I don't just say it because I just have to say it. I'm one of the sponsors, but I am honored to be able to sponsor such an event. I look forward to every year. The last 2 years, we didn't have one on the five because of the pandemic and
Mhm.
obviously the COVID. And so Allison is, I know she's stepping up and really putting a great event together to make up for what we have missed in the last 2 years. So you're in for a ride and a big surprise. And I know that you're going to make great friends, great network, and just make sure you have those business card and have your best speech forward, or even your spill, and talk about what you love to do the most. When that's really what it is. I mean, being recognized for what you love to do and how you help your the community and your circle, and that's really what it's all about, which in other times or in other parts that would never be recognized. That would always
Mhm.
just be rugged on the fluff and brush on the rug, and nobody would ever notice. Are you coming along bringing a significant other for the gala? How are you being accompanied?
Um, I haven't got that far yet. If we can nail down some childcare, maybe my husband could come and check it out and support as well. But yeah, it would be a matter of nailing down someone for the kiddos.
I understand. I understand. I've been there. Trust me, I've been there. Now I have teenagers. I don't have to worry about that. I actually, one of them can drive, so they can drive me to the event.
Yes.
So yeah, good for you. Actually, you are such an incredible person. I love you. I can't wait to meet you in person and hug
Yes.
you, and show you off. There's a lot of ladies that have been part of this network for the last, like I said, 10 years. So this is going to be a very, very proud moment for a lot of us, and reminisce from things that we went through 10 years ago, 5 years ago, and now to be able to connect again. It's going to be an emotional, I can tell you, it's going to be a very emotional. Don't forget to bring Kleenex, because there is going to be some tears. There's a lot of motivational speaking and a lot of great testimonies and experiences of things that people go through and they overcome. That's part of Woman on Fire.
Hmm.
So don't forget that, for sure, for sure. Um, any last word, my friend? I mean, we've been here for almost 40 minutes, and again, I can talk to you for all night. When it comes down to learning about your finances, this is one of the things that is one of my passions, and I think everybody should take. One of the things that I wanted to ask you, as my
Hmm.
show says, tell me who you are and what you do. What are you planning for your future? Do you have anything that you would like to accomplish? Perhaps workshops, perhaps books. I don't know. Just put it out there, because once you say it, things happen.
Yeah, I feel like some of my things I've been kind of checking off. I'm trying to do some more like seminars, webinars, in my business. As you just said, like I think people want to be educated more than ever right now on the market and what mortgages really truly mean. So that's something I'm really working on this year. I last year I actually co-authored in a book, not mortgage related, but it was about my journey in motherhood. So I kind of have one of those, a little check mark there, and I'm writing in volume 2 of it this year. But I guess you know what, really something that I've been thinking about, and really I really just need to like eat the frog, so to speak, and do it. I've really been thinking about doing starting a podcast. So that's one thing I want to do. A little bit of
Wow.
mortgage life, but I also, being a mom and a mom entrepreneur is a huge part of my identity too. So a little bit of mortgages, but I also want to tie in the whole mom entrepreneur and like, even like have fellow mompreneurs, if you will, on the podcast just to share and talk about all the amazing things that come with it, but also there's like you kind of touched with even with Women on Fire, a lot of there's like some tough stuff too, and just to be able to talk
And you
about
know
it.
what? One of the things that I've actually experienced and witnessed is people that come to my show. They are so they feel so comfortable and they feel that they're able to talk about their passion. They
Mhm.
started their own podcast. If I can do Lizzie, I can do anything. I can do my own. And I've had many people that have gone through. I've been doing this for 10 years as well,
Mhm.
and now they have their own thing. And I'm so proud that I was able to offer this little platform for them to start their thing there. They're
Yes.
big, and they came through here, and now they're doing great things. So absolutely, you have all my support,
Thank
and
you.
you can count on me to help you out for anything that you want. And love to be your guest on your
Yes.
podcast, talk about my experience as a real estate investor. And so, absolutely, kudos to you. Go for it. Do it. Just do it. Have an
Yes.
amazing.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much, Ashley. I appreciate your time with us.
Thank
And
you.
we'll see you on the 23rd, 24th on Woman on Fire in person.
Sounds
Bye bye for
good.
now. Bye
Bye.
bye. Bye, everyone. And that is another Woman on Fire. We'll be back, everyone, with another guest, and make it a great day. Bye.